Archivest, y'all. Exclusively interviewing T Mills.
Yes, sir.
And Panda as well.
That's good.
And who is T Mills?
Travis Mills, man. 22 years old. I'm from Riverside, California. I just make music. I'm a human being. Shit.
And hip-hop being one of the first genres, can you share what inspires you from the culture, artists, etc., and what have you already created on being involved with hip-hop?
I feel like I was drawn into hip-hop at an early age just because of the attitude, man. It was like punk rock to me, you know? It was just super like, just DIY and fuck you and offensive and in your face. And I mean, Tupac really like embodied all of that for me. And then I just got really into Bone Thugs and Harmony and like on a more melodic tip. And like I can remember my first tape was Usher, and I used to rewind the Usher tape, man, and just write out the lyrics for the bitches. And I got into Bone Thugs and Harmony when I was like 10 years old. My uncle gave me a CD, and I just fell in love with how fast they were rapping and like how they would just infuse like just beautiful, you know, melodies and like all of them would stack up harmonies, and it was just still like so sick. And like they were just saying, they could say the most like awful shit, but it just sounded like so pretty, you know. I feel like what I'm trying to create, man, I'm just trying to make music. It's not just, you know, one genre. I'm trying to just take like all of these experiences that I've had and all of the music that I listen to and kind of infuse it and, you know, create my own sound, which is kind of what I'm doing.
And some of your favorite bands and times you could share with us.
Placebo is one of my favorite bands. The Smiths are one of my favorite bands. Queen was like a big band for me growing up. Like my mom put me on Queen, so Mom, thank you. Lunes, man, I Got 5 on it. When I first started smoking weed, I was like 15 years old. That was my song. Like everywhere we would go, I had to have that playing like when I'd get high. So that is a big memory for me. Lil Troy.
Want to be a baller.
I want to be a baller. I didn't know what that song, like I didn't know who made it, so my friend had it in his car, and I would just hit repeat and repeat and repeat. And then I finally got it on the iPod, and then my iPod fucking just crashed. So.
And what about the other bands that you've been part of growing up?
The other bands I was part of, I was in a couple bands. Like that's, you know, kind of. That's like my first like outlet for music. Those are all really cool. It gave me, you know, I got to like go play shows. I got to, you know, find out like what being on stage was all about. I feel like I definitely got my stage presence and stuff from like early on. I've just kind of just kept doing my thing, and it just evolved from like, you know, rock into, you know, what I'm doing now. So it's cool. What
about you, Panda? Anything you can add?
As far as early bands.
And how you guys know each other?
I met Panda. He was, I was 16. He was working at a venue in Corona called Showcase, and my band, we played Battle of the Bands, and he brought us up like beer and shit to our green room.
Yeah, just like his venue, an all-ages venue in Corona, California.
That's how we met.
Epic, yeah.
And then he worked at a medical marijuana shop, and we met back up 2 years later, and just started fucking with each other. So.
And at 16, your stripper stories and adventures of T Mills.
Oh man, shit. I finished high school when I was 16. I got out of high school real young. So I was working at Starbucks, you know, on my little grind. I'd go to work at like 4 in the morning, and I just did all that shit. And there was this girl that came in, and she was friends with my manager. And yeah, she, I mean, she was a stripper, and it was cool. And, you know, we dated for a little bit, and it was crazy. When I was 16, you know, like I don't think I'd do that shit now. Definitely wouldn't do that shit now. But I mean, I, you know, got it in young and learned my lesson, and
got it popping.
Yeah, it was popping. It was cool.
And on to your discovery, performing at Warped Tour in 2009. Can you elaborate?
That was super punk rock for me as well. It was super DIY. I wasn't on the tour. My friend was a sponsor on the tour and was like, "Yo, Travis, do you want to come on? And, you know, I get you a place to play every day." I mean, I did it, man. You know, I sold my own merch. I hauled my own equipment. I did that shit by myself. It was 60 days. It was like the hottest tour I think I've ever done. And it was just good experience, man. I made a lot of good friends. I met a lot of kids. That was like my first show. The first day I worked was my first show ever. It was good.
You give us a tour of your tattoos you have. Anything that means a lot to you.
Yeah, man. These are 2 paintings done by this guy named Jeff Soto. He's just one of my favorite artists. He's actually from where I'm from, Riverside, California. And I just really liked him, man. So I got them both tattooed on me and then kind of infused my own shit. And it's just pretty much everything I love. It's a movie projector, shooting out film. It says, "How am I not myself?" It's a tape player robot. Got a record player right here. My knuckles, I got when I was 18. It says "Patience." It says "Timeless." It says "Won't quit." I got young favorites of my webbings. I got my initials. I got Medusa. I got Bone Thugs lyrics on my chest that says "Only time will tell."
You also have a Canadian flag.
I do, man. I got Canada and California. My dad is from Oshawa, so I got a lot of family up here.
Very dope. And Finders Keepers, your EP, Rich Girls, Nightlife, Knockout, 4140, and Girls Gone Wild. How did the first project move? Man, I love that cover. I love how it turned out.
Thanks, man. That was actually the first photo shoot I really ever did. Those songs, man, I spent a day in the studio. It was a week before Warped Tour. I shit them out, and that's what happened.
And the success from it.
I mean, yeah, it was cool. It was, that's old. That's a long time ago.
And Ready, Fire, Aim. The EP was singles, Stupid Boy, Let's Ride, She Gotta Purr Like a Cat, and you definitely get noticed. Share about the project and what the fans are saying.
Ready, Fire, Aim was cool for me because it was, I A&R'd that myself. I did everything myself. We had like a small release, it was cool. And it just kind of gave me an outlet to like learn what it was like to make a record. We did it in 4 weeks and it was cool, man. It was a good learning experience. I definitely prepared, it definitely prepared me for what I'm doing now. I take a much more educated approach, and I can kind of look at things in a different way because of that album. So it was cool.
One of your favorite songs that you've made? Like I said, Let's Ride was an amazing track. It's actually one of my favorites.
Thanks, man. Let's Ride I actually made in 3 hours. And it was I was just fucking around and came up with that melody, and then we put it down, and that was that.
And your favorite song?
She's Got It, definitely. She's Got. Oh, you know what? I made this song called On too, which is it. I made it because it was either gonna be really annoying to people or they're really gonna like it, and it was just a sample, repeat, just on repeat. I like that song On too.
And your videos beginning in the millions of views. Any plans? You have anything coming out that we can?
I'm dropping a free album in 3 weeks. It's called Leaving Home, and that's kind of what I've been working on the last 6 to 8 months. I recorded 160 songs, and it's the best 12 songs in my opinion. And it's just very different, man. When it comes out, people are gonna see the growth from Ready, Fire, Aim to this, and it's still kind of I play on the same there's some things that I kind of play with from Ready, Fire, Aim. I feel like the old fans are gonna get it, and I feel like it's just gonna bring in new fans. And I'm gonna get to meet a whole different group of listeners.
And Captain Midnight and FTH and any other producers that you work with. Tell us about FTH. What it means.
FTH. I kind of just got this tattoo on my forehead, just random as fuck one night, man. And it just it means a lot of things. Fuck the haters, for the homies, for the hoes, feed the homeless, feed the horses, whatever you want it to mean, man.
And about the other producers you work with.
Captain Midnight, that was the first fool that actually reached out to me when I made a MySpace page. He's from Seattle, and he just hit me up and was like, "Yo, do you need beats?" And I was like, "Yeah." So he sent me some shit, and I laid it down. It was cool. The producers I worked with on this last album, on the free album I put out, I worked with Coleman Rowe. I got a song with Rusko coming out. I did a song with Hit Boy. My homie Jayhawk, I've been putting out a lot of viral records with. Got a song with Matt Squire. Just a bunch of people, man. Stereotypes. It's cool.
And Van City, like you said, one of the best places. Share why you choose our city and share about these ladies because you're a magnet.
For me, it's the weed, man. As soon as we got here,
That's the first thing that needed to happen.
It was the first, and it was great. And we got the jug. We met some locals around here, and they told us what was up. I was actually here 2 years ago, and I went to Mark Emery's shop, and I got to take a bong hit with him. But now it's free Mark, so you know what it is.
Fuck my album tour. And Patty, you have anything to share with us?
And it has a mixtape too. It's called Macaroni and Bleeze. It's coming out in September.
Yep.
We're recording it on the road.
And it's the most...
It's just crazy. It's going to be the most destructive shit you've ever heard.
Can you elaborate on it?
9/11, get it, baby. It's good.
The real shitheads.
And the biggest crowd you've ever rocked?
Bamboozle? Yeah, Bamboozle, man.
How many people?
3,000 to 5,000. I don't know. Yeah, it was cool though.
And your best hip hop memory you've been part of or contributed to?
When I was at Paramount Studios in LA.
What was that?
Rizzo?
Yeah. The Rizzo was there, and he heard this song that me and me and Jayhawk were making, and he came up and asked us like what that was, and we just got really high. It was Labor's Day actually. Shout out to RZA, man. And we were barbecuing and shit, and it was just super cool. And I was just blessed and humbled to be there. And then I also played the Roots Picnic a couple weeks ago, and that was just insane for me to be like a part of that. You know, that was just love, man. Philly showed us a great time. It was my first time playing Philadelphia, and that was super cool.
And you have anything to say to Canada?
Canada, I love you. I'm gonna be coming all over you. Literally and whatever other way you want to take that.
Yeah, call me.
And anything to say to your fans out here?
Yeah, Facebook.com/I love T-Mills, @I love T-Mills on Twitter. Holla at me, Canada. I'm gonna be back real soon. Show some love for your boy. I'm repping.
And you got any shouts?
Shouts? Shit, young favorites. Shouts White. Shout out to Pretty Tony for not making it across the border, man. Yeah, what's up?
Holla! And this is the Archivest, and you already know the name, y'all.
T-Mills.